A lot of pulling. Does that look familiar? All that pulling on the leash and the gagging, definitely not comfortable. We're gonna try and teach this puppy to walk properly on lead today. And we're gonna bring out that training collar that we have. We're working now today with the prong collar. And again, we're working with a Jag Terrier. He's got a lot of drive, as you can see. And so in order for the handler to be able to walk him nicely and comfortably down the street, we advocate the use of a training collar. Now, for some dogs, it can be a martingale collar. Other dogs, it could be a slip chain. It could be a halty, a gentle leader, prong collar, e-collar. It really depends on the temperament of the dog and also the handler's capacity for using the actual collar properly. So now we've got the prong collar on him, and you notice we have it fairly high. This being is, with it higher up on the dog's neck, it makes it easier for the handler to actually walk the dog. I'm going to take the leash and I'm going to demonstrate. We're going to go forward a bit. We're going to stop. Nice. And again, we're just getting him acquainted with the collar. That's all it is. So you don't even really give an active correction. You kind of let him stop, figure it out. Then we're going to go forward again. And again, he's not under a heel command. We're just teaching him line limits, we call it. Good boy, buddy. Much better. And you can see a noticeable difference from when we first started and he was on the flat collar pulling out. And remember, you're not giving an active correction. You literally come to a stop, let him hit the end of the lead. So you kind of post up and then you proceed forward again. Let's go, buddy. Very inquisitive little puppy. Nice. So you notice I try to keep my leash fairly relaxed as much as I can with this little guy. Oh, he's looking for mama. Stop, I wait a few moments. Now, when you're working with the collar, you can also, you see he's straining into the leash, so I put the brakes on and I wait for him to settle. And again, I let him check out his environment. It's okay, so long as he's not fighting the leash. Good boy. Now, as you're working with this collar, you can also use treats at the same time and teach him anytime he walks properly, better yet, even if he looks at you, there's a treat coming for him. Come on, buddy. Nice, much better. Less fight, less struggle. Oh, now he sees the squirrels. This is a big distraction. Normally in this situation on the flat collar, when this guy sees a squirrel, he goes crazy. He's up on the hind feet and he's gagging. With the prong collar, it teaches him limits. Let's go, buddy. And it makes my life so much easier. The whole idea behind the training collar is for you not to have to use that much force when you're working with the dog. You should use minimum force and get maximum results. And that's why for a temperament like his, we would advocate the use of the prong collar, and ideally we want it high up. Now it's slipped down, which is normal. So what we can do is come like this, come here, buddy, and we just kind of raise it up a little bit, just like that. So this way it's sitting high, high up on the dog's neck, making it easier for us to control it. And like I said, every so often you can come to a stop, raise your collar, and then proceed forward again. And today we're just, once again, acclimating the dog to the actual collar itself. Later on, as he gets used to it and we're getting less struggle, less fight, we will start to incorporate the heel exercise where the dog is actually heeling beside me. So again, for the heel, the dog is on my left side, and ideally his shoulder, right shoulder blade, is parallel with my left leg. Now again, he's starting to fight a little bit, so we stop, let him settle, and then we move forward again. As soon as he starts to struggle, we put the brakes on, and again, I haven't really administered any type of active correction. Today is just getting the dog used to the collar itself. There'll be plenty of time later on to use a more direct correction with the dog. And again, we're on the prong collar, and you see how this dog is very resilient. He's very strong, and he can handle the pressure of the prong. But like I said, we haven't really used an active correction. All we're doing is putting the brakes on. So every time he goes forward, fairly strong, I come to a stop and let him feel the sensation of the collar. We do it again. Look at the difference in the behavior upon receiving the correction. We stop again. And again, we're working with a terrier. They've got a lot of drive, a lot of power, especially the Jag Terriers. Let's change directions. We're going to head this way. And ideally, when I'm working with the dog, I try to work in a fairly quiet environment You don't want to throw him into the mix with tons of traffic and lots of people. That's going to be a little overwhelming for the dog, and it makes it that much harder for him to understand. So at first, let's work in a very quiet environment, preferably a parking lot that is vacant, where nobody's hanging out or parking. And so this way it's easier for the dog now in the way of learning. And if he was to put the brakes on like you saw there, I don't stand there and beg him. I just casually walk and let the collar do its job. In dog training, we have to exercise leadership over the dog. We have to show the dog who the boss is. And doesn't mean you have to be abusive. Many people are under this impression that being the boss or being the leader means you have to be mean. Not necessarily so. You've got to be firm, but yet fair at the same time. You've got to be calm in demeanor. Your energy should be very neutral. And yet we use certain things like this particular collar to get our point across to the dog with the least amount of conflict. And you notice I'm giving him at least 4 or 5 feet of slack and allowing him to make that decision. So instead of holding my leash short and trying to hold the dog back, you actually give him a little bit more leash. And I find sometimes what will happen is with a longer leash, now when he goes out, the correction is compounded. It's double the effect, more leverage. And it doesn't harm the dog's confidence nor character. What will happen is once he figures it out now, you're going to find he's going to get quite comfortable with it, but yet at the same time, very respectful. Remember, compulsion or corrections work once the dog learns how to turn it off. So you've got to give them ample opportunity in the way of work or training to figure that out. We cannot allow for our heart to get in the way of our thinking. And usually this is what we see. Some people might feel uncomfortable using certain pieces of equipment or techniques. The problem is they won't get their dog trained. And so they're literally giving in to the dog. And the dog requires leadership in order for your relationship to grow harmoniously. Now what we're going to do, we're going to turn it over to the handler, and she's going to do the same thing. And so she's going to work with one hand on the leash, and she's going to walk calmly. Let's walk forward, just like I did. And when he goes to pull, you just stop. Let's go forward again. That's it, you keep walking. You stop, wait a few seconds. That's right, so now she's going to adjust her collar. She's going to bring it up a little bit higher. This way it gives her the advantage. She's not fighting with the dog. Beautiful. Hey, let's go forward again. And check out her energy levels. They're very neutral, non-combative, very calm, but yet strong. And the dog seems quite comfortable on the collar. Now keep in mind, he has very strong temperament. One of the main reasons why he went directly to this collar as opposed to some of the other styles of collars. Very nice. She keeps walking. That's right, you keep walking. Let's do a U-turn, come back this way. Good, watch your leash. You can flip it over his head. So we want to make sure that he doesn't get tangled as we're moving because we're giving him a little bit more leash. So it'll be easier for him to get caught up or tangled. So we got to be mindful of that. Nice. Now we'll try going just a little bit faster. Yep, faster. Because we got to remember, the dog has 4 legs, we have 2. So, I mean, technically they're going to move naturally faster than us. We went slower just to really help him process the information. But once he starts to put it together, we can increase our speed just a little. Good. And he's pulling out to the side. Now she's going to stop, wait a few seconds. Now, how I combat that when I'm now getting him used to the collar, he pulls to the right, I'm going to walk closer to the left. There we go. And then vice versa, same thing. If he starts to lean out too much to one side, I go to the opposite side. Remember, this is not a formal heel exercise. We're just acclimating the dog to the actual prong collar. Lean to your left. Good. And once you feel that little bit of resistance or fight, you lean to the opposite side. Good. Keep them going. And we're going to come to a halt. We're going to hang out right here for a moment. You can give him some praise and or treats. Good boy. Call his name, see if you can get his attention. There you go, a little treat. Whereas before, when he was on the flat collar outside, she can never get that. Where now, you know, she calls his name and wants to give him a treat. No, he's too busy checking out everything, trying to fight the leash. What it is with the prong collar now, it helps to build focus or attention at the same time because he's not too busy trying to fight and find everything. And this is why we like to use training collars. It just makes life so much easier. And with this particular collar, or with any training collar for that matter, when I'm at home, the dog is free, we take the collar off. So we only use it when we're going for walks, during training, or high excitement time. When people come over, guests, we can have the leash and the collar on him. Just makes it easier to control the dog under those circumstances. But once it's time to start again, we put the leash back on in the way of our walks and we do our thing. Like I said, we will eventually get into the heel exercise and teach him the formal heel position, which is right here, right shoulder parallel to the left leg as we're moving. When we get to the curb, we would come to a stop, we would tell the dog sit and assist the dog into the seated position. But for now, like I said, it's just getting him acquainted with the collar. He did really good today, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If so, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. You might even want to check out my new book, Instincts to Excellence. We go through dog psychology, various techniques and methods. Take care, guys.